Is something that seems to intimidate a lot of people. So we're going to be looking at a little bit of Shakespeare. And contrary to what you may know, Shakespeare didn't just write plays. Shakespeare was also a very famous poet. Um, Particularly, we are going to look at two of the sonnets that he wrote that weren't even originally attributed to him. Um, they're relatively short. They are on very similar topics. A lot of his poetry was on sort of the same themes of love and beauty and youth, and but the way that he talks about it isn't nearly so straightforward as all that. So we're going to look at how he actually presents it, as well as what the figurative language means in the poetry. Okay, so the first one is going to be Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely, more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometimes declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe, or eyes can see, so long lives this, and gives life to thee. Alright, so he wrote this to someone that he loved. But he doesn't just say, I love you, you're great, you're wonderful, right? So you've got to look really deeply and really carefully to really understand what this poem means at the comparison that he's making. He's comparing this person to a summer's day. And he's talking about how beautiful summer is and how it can sometimes be a little bit rough. The wind is too strong, the sun is too bright, but overall, it's beautiful, right? But what do we know about beauty? Eventually, beauty fades, right? So, what role then does he attribute time in this poem? What does he say happens to this person who he thinks is so wonderful and so great, even as time passes? There at the end, he tells you really what his motivation in writing the poem is. So long as men can breathe, their eyes can see, so long lives this and gives life to thee. Alright, so what's next? A couple things, short, simple questions. If you answer these, the next pieces will, of course, be a little bit easier, especially if you think into them pretty deeply. So first off, what is the theme of the poem? What is he talking about? What is he teaching you about life? It has something to do with the passage of time. And then how does the author use figurative language in the poem? We've already talked about how he's comparing this person that he loves to a summer's day. Why? Why does he do that? How is it important? How does it build the meaning of this poem? And then what role does time play in the development of the poem? So that has a piece of the theme, but it also has something to do with what we were just talking about there at the end about why he really wrote the poem in the first place.